I'm Ginger Jesus, and I like to do stuff. Does your Dreamcast make a lot of noise? Every time it tries to read a game, does it sound like a paper shredder eating Coke cans inside of a rock tumbler? Or Edward Scissorhands riding a zip line? Or maybe a blender that's become sentient and is trying to talk to you? I'm going to show you how to fix that so you can hear your game and not hear your game. We're going to take some white lithium grease, and depending on if yours is bad or not, but I do recommend it regardless, placement spur gear for the laser motor assembly that makes it move. I'm going to show you how to get that quietened down. We're going to take this one apart and kind of tune it up a little bit. You already saw me previous videos of replacing the capacitors on it and bringing it back to where it reads games real nice and fast on startup instead of having to try it multiple times. This is going to be a little bit of a short video, so if you like this type of content, please like, subscribe, hit the notification button down there so you can keep up with when I post my next video. Anyway, let's get to it. So what are you going to need? We are going to need a sentient blender. We're going to need some new spur gears and a little bit of white lithium grease. Same stuff I used on one of my previous videos of when I was refurbishing the OG Xbox DVD drive. I like it. Good stuff. Seems to last a long time. These spur gears are from Console 5. They are for the motor that controls where the laser is located. They make some new ones, and these work really good for both Yamaha and Samsung units. They work good. Throw that over there. Throw this over there. Let me back you up a little bit here. Is that good? Yeah, that looks good. So the first thing we got to do is take apart the Dreamcast and get the GDROM drive out. And we'll do that right now. Ta-da! If you need to know how to take your GDROM drive out, check out my previous video. It's saved in the same playlist as this one is. All you need is a number 2 Phillips of a decent length, you know. I use this one here. This shank here makes it a little tight, but it does work. It's about almost an inch, so if you get one it's about 1.5 inches long. It'd be plenty. It's a number 2 Phillips tip. Once you're down to this point, we're going to put the tape cover back on like I did in the other video. To protect the laser, you will get 2 pieces of tape, put them up against each other so you have a smooth side and a sticky side. Yeah, smooth section right here and sticky on either end. I'm going to go ahead and put this to where it completely covers the tract that laser goes in, just like that, so nothing can touch it. Get my little scissors and cut the excess off. Baby scissors. There we go. That's good enough. This is a Samsung unit. The Samsung units are known to be much quieter than the Yamaha units, but I wish I had recorded it. My other Dreamcast has a Yamaha unit in it. It was extremely loud, and I did this exact same thing to it, and it quietened it down tremendously. Since this is the one I did on the last video, I have recordings of what it sounds like, and we'll do a little before and after at the very end. Once you're at this point, you got your drive out, you got the laser protected, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull the cable out of this tract here so we can get this thing kind of flipped up and get a good look at it. And hopefully we don't have to take it completely out. When I did my other one, I had it out completely just out of convenience. So we'll lift this up a little bit so I can get this cable out of here, right down there. Bring you in a little closer. So now that I got that lifted up, I was able to get it out of that track. Gives you a little bit more slack to get it out of this one as well. Really loud on the desk there, so let me put that there. Now we got that. I can take this, and there's enough room here. Oh, sorry, before that, take this off, this little protective strip that for the back of this. I'm gonna have to double side tape that again. We can flip this all the way over just like that. Let me bring it onto this a little more. There we go. And also I'll be able to move it without putting any stress on the ribbon cable. You're at this point right here. You have your drive laying out here. The spur gear in question is this one right here that we're going to replace on the motor. This one isn't cracked, which does facilitate it being much quieter than the Yamaha unit, but they can still crack just like the Yamaha ones. And I've got one here to show you what it does look like. What did I do with it? There it is. Found it. It was inside my parts Dreamcast. You can see here's one out of a Yamaha unit. I'll bring you in real close there. You see that black line right there in the gear? Put a little arrow to it right here. You see that line right there? That's a crack. Some of them are bigger than others. And so what that can do is, one, if you have one like this, it can be much louder because that split there causes that one tooth to be a little bit wider. And it can make this gear loose on the motor's spindle and slip, causing it to have to try to spin this more and move it to get the laser into position it's wanting to get to because this is slipping. It's just a press fit, so these actually just slide right off like that. They're not keyed or anything, but this is my parts one, so we'll do that one later. This is the one I want to work on, my Samsung. You can see there's no grease on this whatsoever. It's a little bit better built than the Yamaha unit, but pretty much we're going to put just a little bit of grease on these teeth, those teeth, just all of them in general, just a little bit. And we're going to put a little bit on this unit right here, this little spiral cut. I forgot what it's called. Screw post, maybe? If I ever think of it, I'll put it right here what it's called. Anyway, it's a spiral cut groove that this has a spring-loaded pins holding it in place, and so that's what actually tracks the unit. And since they're spring-loaded, they can skip like that. Sometimes that can cause a problem, and the spring loading is kind of loose and cause it to skip, but most of it is the noise of these gears. But we'll lubricate this. That'll help out with the noise a little bit. If it does skip, you won't hear it as much. And we're going to put the new gear on this so that it doesn't crack and cause more noise. So I'm going to get one out here. You notice he's a little bit bigger from the original. You can see here it's a little bit wider, so it's going to be quite a bit stronger and resist cracking compared to that one. So let's go ahead and get this out of here. There is one screw right here holding it in. It's a really small Phillips screw. This motor is pinned in with this same cable. You don't have to take it out. It helps to take it out all the way completely, but like I did with this one, how I took it completely out, you can de-pin these pins here from the connector and take the whole thing out. And then there's your one screw there. You don't have to do that. You can do it without disconnecting and taking this tray apart anymore to get to the connector. I should have done it earlier, but it's fine. I wanted to get that video done for y'all of how to bring the laser back to life, of making it read much better with the new capacitors. I think it's a pH 0. Let me look. I got this one here. Yes, pH 0. One of these small ones. Fits perfect. Since you don't have to completely take it out, you either get one of these that are really long or do what I'm going to do, which is I've got one of these little extender shafts, and I got another precision bit set from Harbor Freight, the Quinn brand. So you'll just take this one screw out right here. There's that. Set that to the side. You've only got that screw, and then there's a little plastic pin on this side that holds the motor in. You'll see there's a second hole there, so there's a little plastic pin right on this piece right there. Once you push it back, then this whole thing, come here. Once you push it back, that whole thing can come out, and you just pull it straight off. Ooh, this one's stuck because it's not cracked. Just gonna use the leverage of my tweezers like that to lever that on off, and once it started going, now it's off. I'm gonna keep that for later since it's not cracked as a test piece. And we're gonna put this on. From what I've seen, most of them go on this direction. There's a side that's flat that doesn't have any teeth on it, and then there's continuous teeth all the way on the other side. Seen most everyone put them this direction. This takes some force. You might need something to push against that's flatter. It's just a press on fit like that. Drop yours back in and just push it up and just kind of see how much further you need to go. Let me get a little bit better view there. You can see I've got it pushed up against that, so it's not down far enough because it's contacting this cage assembly piece there. So I'm going to go ahead and I got to take this back out. We're going to push it back down even a little bit further. I'm going to use this here to press against it because it has a hole. Starting to stab my thumb with the motor's spindle. There we go. It's a little bit further in. So let's check fitment, and that looks really good right there. The spindle on the motor's protruding just like maybe a millimeter, and that puts this gear here right in the middle of that spur gear. Ah, crap, my bit. So that is perfect. So now we're gonna get to greasing it up. This does not take much at all. So don't overdo it. You'd overdo it, it can get everywhere, and you don't want grease getting on your laser. So I'm gonna put it a little dab right here, and that much is way too much, but it's good for me to dip my Q-tip in and get little dabs of it. I'm gonna take this little cage piece off so that we can add a little bit of lithium grease to the end of that rod there and on either side of this gear where it runs into the plastic. Keep it nice and lubricated. This is a number 1, a PH1 screw. So I'll take that out. Have like a little catch on it. It just lifts right up. And so we're gonna put some, the most minute amount of grease on either side of this and right here. Got some Q-tips here. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this gear out. It just lifts up on this one side here. You lift it up and you can pop it out of its little holder. These aren't keyed, so you don't have to worry about locating them. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on there, and I'm gonna put a little bit on this side here as well. And that's more than enough for that part. Use my tweezers to set it back. Get back in there. There we go. This cage is a little bit the same way. You see how it's pushing itself that way. So I'm just gonna do that and pop it up a little bit, and I'm gonna add a little bit to the end here and to the end there. Stay focused. I keep getting my hand too close to it and it loses focus. So I'm just gonna lift this up a little bit, and I'm gonna use this Q-tip to run a little bit around the outside of that. And then do the same thing over here. Doesn't take a lot. I'm gonna actually pick this whole thing up and flip it over like that. So that way I can get into this hole there. I'm gonna add a little bit to this rail on this side. You mainly just need it on the top and bottom. Wipe away the excess on either side, just leaving a nice, very, very thin film like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put some on these gears, and I'm just gonna use the Q-tip to work it in and around. There will be some self-spreadage as this is used, so don't put too much. It'll spread itself pretty well. Get some on that inner gear, and I'm just gonna keep working it around to speed up that spreading process. Make sure you get off any excess that seems to be slinging off just by doing this. That's pretty good. I need a little dab right there and work it in. I'm gonna go ahead and use my hand here to hold this up and work a little bit onto this, just back and forth. Taking care not to hit the laser. Don't touch it with anything. I'm gonna put some down in there. There's a little bit on my Q-tip. That's good enough. Take this by hand very carefully. Flip it back over. There's this key here. You can take it and just a little film right there. That's good enough. You got to take it and you put it down on the other rail first. We'll drop this back down on here like that. That's perfect. I'm going to use 2 Q-tips, and I'm going to work some grease all along this here. So I'm going to put a little line right there, put a little line right there, and then I'm just going to spin it a little bit and work it, spin it a little bit and work it. Put a little film on where this the end of this gear rides. I'll set that back down. There's little locator pins there and there, and I'll put that screw back in. Let me set this screw back in its hole. Same thing as always. Turn it counterclockwise until it drops into the threads like that. I'm just gonna snug it. It doesn't take much at all. So you can see there, it's pretty good coverage on those gears. I might add just a touch more. You don't have to get it all. I'm not worrying about getting a spot that's bare underneath here. It will spread on its own pretty good. All right, now I'll wipe up a little bit of the excess, and that should be good enough. All right, now we can go ahead and put the screw back in for this gear drive. I'm gonna lift this up, hold this forward, and oh crap. It's kind of hard to do, but there we go. It doesn't have to be really, really tight. It's just fairly snug, and that is tight enough. All right, let's go ahead and get this put back in. We'll flip it on over. Get the cable up underneath those tabs like we're supposed to. All right, and there we go. Got that, both of those underneath there. That is nice and lubed up.
That's what she said.
And we will do a before and after, what that sounds like. Go ahead and get this put back in the unit. Now it's time to take off your protective tape. Now it's time to bask. Oh no! Oh no! It's time to bask in nice, quiet Dreamcast glory. As best as it's gonna get. They're not perfectly quiet ever, but you'll see it's much better. We're gonna start with Zombie Revenge because I have a lot of recorded noises from before. The last video I did of bringing back this GDROM drive. So we'll start there, and here we go. All right, that's enough of that one. I'll go ahead and throw in Baseball 2K1. So as you can hear already, it is much quieter. It's not perfectly quiet. The way they designed this, it was never gonna be quiet. The Samsung's much better than the Yamaha unit. This definitely quietened it down a lot so that when this is further away from you, you won't hear it as much as you would before. Before, you would definitely hear it while you were playing. Now, it's much quieter, and so when you have it set back in the cabinet or whatever, or just near the TV and kind of away from you a few feet, it's much, much, much quieter. You can't even really hear the laser reset back. You can still hear it do the initial load, but it's not too bad. Alright, that should be good enough for now. You can hear just how much quieter it is. It's not perfect, but it's alright. Let's move on over. I really hope you enjoyed this video of taking this Dreamcast GDROM and knocking it down a few decibels. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you want to keep up with whenever I upload my next video, hit the subscribe and notification bell. Should be coming out with another one next Sunday. They're not going to be perfectly quiet like any of the PlayStations or even the Xboxes or anything like that. They were always known to be noisy. This one's got the quieter Samsung unit in it, but you could still hear how much it dropped down. I tried to dB normalize those so that you could really hear the difference. I can. In person, it's much, much quieter. It's not as aggressive sounding. You can still hear it. It still whirs. The gears still kind of whir back and forth as it's reading, but it's much, much more pleasant to sit there and play, especially like you have a setup that's really close to you. It's much more pleasant now. So you can take yours, and once you bring your GDROM back to life, like if you follow along in the last video, how we brought it back to life, made it read nice and fast, and now it reads nice and fast and nice and pretty quiet. If you need to know where I got all my stuff for this video is console 5 for the spur gears, and I just went to a local, I think I got this at Harbor Freight, but you can get it at Walmart, Amazon, all kinds of places. Just make sure you get some good quality white lithium grease. You don't want some of the spray stuff. Some of it can get too sticky. I personally like this one right here for now. If something changes in the future, I may update the description of that. Link in the description for the spur gears I got from Console 5, and where you can get some white lithium grease. I appreciate all y'all being here, and I'll see you next week in the next video. Later.